Hey, you're listening to Don't Lie to Your Life Coach podcast with Kim Arrington. I'm Kim Arrington. I'm a life coach, a weight loss coach, an author, and a badass passionate about helping you connect back to your most authentic self. Join me here each week so I can coach you on how to think all those juicy thoughts that get you feeling your absolute best and taking some big ass action. Coaching has changed my life, and it can change your life too. I'm here to give you real life solutions to create a life you'll love. Because the truth is, boo, you ain't just got problems, you got options. Hey, y'all. Welcome back. So today is a special day for me. If you are tuning in via video, you will notice I have on no makeup. And this is for a purpose. And you'll see I'm dressed kind of sporty. I got my workout gloves on. I got my armband, my wrist, I don't know what they call them, not wrist guards, elbow compression sleeves on. And it's all for a purpose today. I want to talk to you all about something, you midlife ladies, lads, my gender non-conforming folks, y'all come through. I myself am approaching 45, and I want to talk to you about what has changed my life. I am wearing the uniform today, and that is exercise. I know, right? Exercise. Now, think about it for a second. All of us have some real strong opinions about exercise. We do. I had said strong opinions, but I want to tell y'all, it was in my 40s where I mastered making exercise work out for me. Work out for me. Okay. No, I was walking in my neighborhood yesterday, and one of my neighbors was playing the drums in his garage, and I loved it. So I bopped a little extra when I walked by. Hopefully he would be able to see me enjoying it. So that is for my neighbor. But yeah, we're going to talk about all things exercise. I guarantee you this is going to end up being a 2-part series because so many of us use exercise to beat our own ass. We do. We beat ourselves up because we think it should be a certain way. And I am here to help you dispel some of the myths. Now, I will tell you, I'm doing this episode on the fly. So I got a couple of notes that I'm going to look at throughout so I can give you the real of the real. I sat down and thought about my feelings and some ways to be able to help you all find a way of embracing your mobility. And that's really what it is. Like, we can decide how intense, we can decide what we want to do. This can be a journey. You're always going to hear me talk about how can you make the thing a relationship? Because in a relationship, we can be a beginner. We can start out, right? In a relationship, it's just another opportunity for us to begin to learn about ourselves. And so we don't have to have a destination. You can have some goals if you choose. You might grow some goals later. But at the very beginning, you're just checking it out, okay? Just seeing the little lay of the land, all right? So I want to talk to you about what made me begin exercising. I have been exercising. I've had a relationship with exercise over the course of my adult life, even in my 20s, and why it matters so much to me now in the 40s. And as I get, think about our 50s, our 60s, our 70s, our 80s, our 90s, our 100s, why exercise is what you're looking for. Okay. So first of all, I have a confession. Okay. My confession is that I was always inside of me. There was an inner athlete, but the artist side of me trumped that. And what does that mean? That means that, we get into grade school and we're almost told what we're good at. I actually can remember my teachers, we would read plays in class, and my teachers always calling on me because I had a big personality. And that translated, my mom was a singer. Um, it translated into me embracing the arts, music in particular. I didn't do a ton of theater, but later on in my life, I ended up writing plays and directing kids in plays. So there's that. But inside of me, I always was intrigued with like athleticism. I'm glad I got to say that word. I always thought about, like, I never really had a team. Okay, that's not true. If I was dating a cute boy and he loved a team, I might love their team. Or, I remember there was a point where I really loved Duke basketball. That's a big rivalry in North Carolina and Durham, UNC versus Duke. I ended up going to NCCU, so I'm always rooting for my Eagles. But we also have a huge rivalry with A&T, which is in Greensboro. So, but the point is that I always had an interesting relationship with what I thought I was supposed to do and what I actually did. And I want you to take a minute to think about it. Like, the world has written on you what you are, and you have made some agreements with what has been said, and you've made some disagreements about what has been said. But if you have decided that you are not a person who moves their body every day, that you are a person who's really good at painting, or you're a person who's really great at cooking, you can embrace the things that you may have wanted to try when you were little. But, I was really known for my singing ability. So no one said, ooh, look at how Kim plays in kickball. As a matter of fact, I was usually one of the last people selected in kickball. So that did not help me, in that process. Wasn't that fun, the selection process? Yay. But valuable, right? When I was in high school, I decided to buck that, and I went out for cross country. And y'all, I remember going on a run on cross country. Now, I never ran. I mean, yes, when I was a kid, I was always outside from sun up to sundown, riding my bike, very athletic. But y'all know what happens around 12, 13, boys happen for me. That was when we had our own phone lines. Y'all hear me now? People born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s, where you had your own phone line from your parent, had my own phone line. How many nights did I wake up with my phone wrapped around my neck because I fell asleep on the phone, right? This generation of kids doesn't even get that, do they? Like, some people we don't even have a home phone, So anyway, so I went out cross country, went on a run. They had to come find me. I was so slow. Was I slow, or just was I a beginner? Right? But some other people's beginners looked different than me. Then I joined. I genuinely had an interest in being a runner. I joined a running group in my hometown, where I live. And I would still be one of the last ones there. And there was a particular course. If you've ever been to Durham, North Carolina, the Albular Trail is a bitch to run, y'all. It's got, I call this big hill, Big Bertha. It is hard to run. Now, I can run it now, but back when I was a beginning runner, it was super difficult. And I would like to put a disclaimer for said running group, because it was very important. It was a great experience. It really did help me. I'll talk about that a little bit more, but there was another path I could have chosen. I did not have to run that particular trail. There was another one across town, but this one was closer to me. And that experience, it gave me a little bit more experience in running, because I learned that I loved running when it was really cold. Like, I love to run in the 30 degrees. I love like taking off and being so, warm, and beginning to take off layers because my body warms up. It taught me how, part of my stretches I still do now, are partially because of that group. The community, the all different types of bodies. So if you can think about when you try something, it doesn't quite work out. There's some things that work out in it, right? I did end up barely completing my first 5K. It wasn't, I knew there was a different route for me. And that ended up coming in a statement when someone was like, yeah, I did this Couch to 5K app. And the Couch to 5A, Couch to 5K app ended up really changing my life, because 3 times a week I was gradually beginning running. And before I knew it, I could run 55 minutes, all off of gradually going. My only rule was I cannot stop. The only couple of times I stopped was because I had to tie my shoe. And I ended up making my neighborhood my training ground. So that running got me very much deeper. I'd had a personal trainer for years, stopped that, began going to Burn boot camp, shout out to Burn, and really got into it, ended up losing. Now, this is over years, I've lost 51 pounds. Now, it was eating. The exercise certainly helps with, a reduction in calories and helps with mobility. But I'm going to do a whole nother episode on how I eat, because how I eat, I think, is really important to how we can approach eating in midlife that makes it easier if we want the scale to go down. So that's a whole nother episode. But here's my point. I had a relationship with exercise, and I allowed myself to keep going. So say maybe a year, I'll say 9 months, a year to 9 months. I'm not great with time, y'all. Before the pandemic, I did this. I love challenges. Y'all don't compete with others. I compete with myself. So I love challenges. And what I did was must have been, I would say September, because this is usually when we do Commit to Fit at Burn Boot Camp. And I ended up doing Commit to Fit. And I just told myself, I think I can work out every day. I worked out Monday through Saturday. That's Burn's schedule. And if they had yoga on Sundays, I did it. I got into having 100 boot camps a year, 250 boot camps a year. And then I just realized from that experience, when I take away the choice, and this is something you all might want to consider. This goes against all the conventional wisdom out here. By the way, I am not a doctor, or, you should check with your doctor first before you take on any kind of new form of working out. We all have our own individual health journey. So yeah, you can't sue me, because I ain't tell you to work out. I'm telling you my experience. But what I want to say is that that 30 days of working out every day, except on Sundays, and Sundays if yoga was available, like I mentioned, it changed my mindset. I realized I could do it. The reason why I love Burn is because it targets a different body every day, part of the body every day. And what it does is it allows me to feel like, and I got to tell y'all, this is why I pay someone. And, for some people, they don't see it as worth that much money. I totally do. I tell people what to do. I'm a life coach. I coach people all the time. I help them to look their lives. In every job I've ever had, I've been in a position where I have instructed people to do things. And I love that. But God knows, I love showing up and someone tells me what to do. And someone tells me how to change it. And when the pandemic happened, it was really sad for me, because I loved going to the gym. I loved the community I built in the gym. And I realized that I had to change. And I'd always hated working out. I hated working out at home. Before you knew it, I was like, I'm going to give 2 weeks, y'all. It's a 2-week rule. I'm giving myself 2 weeks to have a different experience with this. And what I did was I got some weights, dusted some weights off, got in there. My gym started doing, workouts over Facebook Live. Eventually, they ended up doing workouts over Zoom. And, as a pandemic, by the time this comes out, hopefully the pandemic won't be an issue. But if it is, I've done over 200 workouts in my living room. I don't even know the number. I have weights, I have, sliders, and I have to use my piano bench sometimes. And, it's just that I decided I was going to make what works. And so for a minute, I want you to think about your movement journey. Is there a way that you can take what you're doing and make it work? Now, I don't want to name any particular. I did name Burn because I love them, love my trainers, but I want to say this. There are certain exercise that I might try at some point, but they're not my thing. If it has anything to do with a bike, it's not my thing, but I know some people who love that. If it has anything to do with lifting tons of heavy weights, it's not my thing. I get my lifting in my 15 pounds. When I'm back in Burn, they have 20, 30, they have higher weights, but I can get it done with I got 3-pound weights. I got cans that are 1-pound weights. I got 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 8 pounds, 15 pounds. And actually I'm about to get a 12 pounds so I can start pushing up. And we do multiple reps a lot of times. So that weight's perfect. I did have a personal trainer. Shout out to those who do that. He was younger and I felt like my body was being pushed to a brink that I didn't want to push it to. And that's okay that people are. Midlife, you can do that. Some people love that challenge and they go for that. That wasn't me. One of the things I love about Burn is when you're in gym, they have a specially designed floor that's bouncy, that's easier on knees, easier on backs, easier on ankles. Well, I had to learn how to get over the shit and do it on the slab in my, family room, and use my couch as a piece of equipment and modify when I need to. Every single workout, I probably modify once. I have yet to do, I have done straight leg push-ups, but I'm not able to do a ton of straight leg push-ups. That is my 2022 goal. So I want to help you all think about ways. I gave you like a couple of my stories, ways to embrace exercise in midlife. And one of those, the big things I want to talk to you about right now is you ain't got to love it, Craig. You ain't got to love it. You don't have to love something to do it. Don't he say that again? You don't have to love something to do it. You don't love going to the carpool to pick up the kids. You don't love the carpool. You really don't love the carpool unless you got a great audio book or you're playing some music that you got to turn down low because it's got the cursing going on in the carpool. I actually created a playlist that was like, don't play in carpool as a joke. Anyway, here's the thing. You don't love the carpool, but you want to pick up your kids if you have them, right? I don't love going to the gynecologist, but I like to know that everything's going good. Okay? So you don't have to love working out to work out. You can have a relationship with it. Remember? Everybody we have relationships with, so we do generally love the people we are in relationships with, but we sure as hell don't like all the things they do. I personally love working out. I never thought I was going to love it, but that athlete, remember I talked about that inner athlete in me was ready to jump out. And no, I don't want to do intramural volleyball at this point. Maybe I will. I don't want to do intramural softball. I have a friend who does that and he loves it, right? But for me, that inner athlete is fed by running around my neighborhood and by, working out my boots camp style workouts. And so I want to talk to you about like some of the ways that we can get to that. So I'm going to go to my little cheat sheet. Oh, my cheat sheet. Give me a second. So, did you hear me when I said I never, like, yes, I exercised in my 20s and my 30s, but I got really serious about it in my 40s. Hashtag, it is never too freaking late. And I want to tell y'all something. I want to tell you a free resource because I know some of y'all like free. Grow with Joe on YouTube. I have done some of her workouts when I didn't feel like walking because it was too hot in my neighborhood. And I did some of her workouts are walking workouts. Some of them are body weight workouts. Sometimes she's able to clear music, to be able to use. Grow with Joe is there's a whole community of those women. She has an app if you want to buy into that. I know it's low cost, but like there are free workouts on YouTube, y'all. So don't let money be an issue. But for me, I got to pay my money every month and I need it to be over $100 so my ass shows up. That is for me. That is motivation for me. Now I see people all the time on, oh, this is so expensive. Not y'all go out to eat. Y'all buy little shit all the time. This is something that's benefiting your longevity, your body. Okay. So some of us say we can't work out. Now, I know that we are all different bodied, right? But I want to tell you a story. So I love swimming. I do. My relationship with swimming had to change though, because I began to realize I have a deviated septum. I have eustachian tube dysfunction. More on that later. I cannot put my head underwater and submerge it without getting a sinus infection that will lead to bronchitis. Now, maybe you all have figured it out. I'm Black, so nose, I've tried it all. I've tried drops. I've tried nose clamps. I've done whatever. But for me, because of my unique body, I had to give up swimming with submerging my head. That was a big deal, y'all. I love swimming, but my ass can get a kickboard and get in that pool and go to town and my head is not underwater. I can still get in the pool. I still get in the ocean. I still get in pools. I just do not submerge my head. So I could have decided, I can't do it like how I did. Y'all, we grew up with a pool in our backyard. My mother helped to, had swimming lessons at our house for her teacher friends and other people. That's what we did for years. I have actually saved people from drowning. I was a swimmer. I've helped train, I helped train a person for a triathlon who did not know how to swim, right? I was a swimmer, but I made this connection. I was like, I keep getting bronchitis. What in the world? Well, I can't do it the way I used to. But I'm telling you this story because I used to go all the time. When I was 265 pounds, I would get in the water. By the way, I could still do, water aerobics if I wanted to. So there's that. But I, was in the pool one day and I was swimming laps. I used to go swim laps a lot. I had a swim card. This is all before I realized that I was getting sinus infections and ended up with bronchitis. And there was a guy next to me and he was kicking my ass. And now I told you I only compete with myself, but there are a couple of times where, if you're in the lane next to me, I want to beat your ass. And I often did. And I would love it. Y'all, I'm Black. Y'all think Black people don't swim because of their hair. And I would do the butterfly. I do the breaststroke. I would sometimes, the white folks in the lane next to me would be like, wow, yes, I can swim. So ways to imagine doing the things we want to do, but you're going to let it stop you if the way that you imagine doing it, you can't do it. Now, I haven't been to a pool since the pandemic. Oh, I've been to one outside pool, but I haven't been to a pool with a kickboard since the pandemic started. But best believe I'm going to be back in that pool with my kickboard. It's a great glute workout. Ass will be on fire. Okay. So I will tell you this too. For me, if I run, I'll run before I do my boot camp style workout. It's an appointment. I set an appointment with myself. You get the gas space. If my phone, I put my phone in my pocket to record my steps. I do have a watch to do it, but anyway, this is the easiest way. And if I feel that thing ring, if it's one of my people, they get the gas face, right? It's my appointment with myself. I don't answer the phone. It is my appointment with myself. It is the way that I show up and I love myself and I care for myself, and it is non-negotiable. The only time just this year I decided when I'm on deep vacation, not when I'm going to see my girlfriend, just went to see my girlfriend in DC. I worked out while I was there. Before I left, I said, do you have weights? I set up things prior to going. One day her boyfriend was downstairs on a bike, and I had to work out outside. Like, I'm always constantly thinking about how I can make it happen. But when I'm on deep vacation, like soul, like vacation, which is where I'm really unplugged, I do not work out. But when I come back, it kicks my ass to get back into the routine, because not working out a few days, this is like I told you all, how to make it easier? I move every day. Moving every day makes me less sore. I also stretch every single day. And now I only do burn Monday through Fridays. I said one of the things I wanted to do this year was dance. So I dance with Sean T on Saturdays and Sundays through, Beachbody, their membership. I do a dance. I'm almost done with his dances, which is hilarious because I have so much fun. I can't believe how quick I get the dances. It's all abs, it's ass, I guess I should say glutes, mama, glutes. And I mean, I feel my body. I love dancing. But now the next thing I'm gonna do is boxing. Okay. So I just hook up on Beachbody and boom. I have a ton of different workouts I could choose from. I pay it for the year, it's done. So how do I do it? Okay. Why do I do it? Exercise for me helps with anxiety. I can think of last Friday. I did not want to work out. I did it anyway because remember, it's non-negotiable. And I just felt 100% better. I managed my anxiety through meditation, through journaling, through exercise, through talking to my besties, to how I talk to myself, right? So taking magnesium. And I do have a history of post-traumatic stress disorder. I have had anxiety attacks, but this is how I maintain it. So am I telling you to not take your medicine? Absolutely not. What you need to do for you is what you need to do for you. But I am saying to you that here's a person who has had a lifelong struggle with anxiety, who no longer struggles. And I know exercise and coaching and journaling and meditation have been a huge part of that. So there's something for you to chew on. Okay. One more thing I really want to bring up, and then I'm going to give you some tips to help you be able to do it. A lot of us think exercise is for weight loss. And yes, you can create a big enough calorie deficiency where there is weight loss. I know Adele's lost a lot of weight, and she talked about she hadn't changed her eating. She eats more, but she exercises all the time. She too says it's for her anxiety. Yay, Adele. But for me, exercise is about shaping my body, and it's about the mobility, sis. I have people in my life who I love who are not able to move the way they once did. No judgment. But by seeing their mobility, their decreasing mobility with age made me want to ensure, to the best of my own ability, that I was able to be mobile. throughout my life. And let me tell you something, I love walking in my neighborhood because the way I walk is different. Strengthening exercise, I walk differently, my core, my abs. And let me tell y'all something. I laughed. I did not know what the hell a fupa was. Y'all know what a fupa is? Fupa is like the area in front of your belly where it has like, I call it where your female parts are and they stick out. I don't give a shit about a fupa. I don't wear shapewear, y'all. That ain't me. I don't care about all that stuff. I care that I use exercise. Exercise is my shapewear. That's how I shape my body. That's how I decide how I want to look. That's the appointment I keep with myself. So for me, being able to get off the ground, without hands, that's the test I'm able to pass. Now, when I get really into the boot camps, I need my hands. But if I got on the ground right now, I could get off the ground without my hands because my core is strong enough. And I want to tell y'all, I have no back pain. The only time I have knee pain is when it's time for me to switch my shoes. Okay. I switch shoes every 3 to 4 months because I put so many miles on them and I donate them, y'all. So relax. And I know that for me, it's about the mobility. I want to be able to move. My stretching after every workout session is about the mobility. I want to be able to move as I get older. Okay. A little goes a long way with exercise. So remember, I do a specific type of exercise. It's a program where we work different body parts every day. I don't have to think about it. I'm told what we're going to do. So I'm not hitting my shoulder too much. I'm not hitting my knee too much. And you guys see, I have elbow things. Now my elbows, because we do a lot of, push-ups and weights, I did have to respond to my right elbow needing compression, which brings me to my tips, y'all. As if you're in midlife, compression is your friend. These gloves I wear, they have light compression in them and they help me with my grip. It makes it so I don't grip the weight so hard that it torques my elbow. Okay. These right here, these help me with, y'all, you can read up on them. All I know is my elbow feels better when I use them. Whether it's my mind or if it's the truth, it doesn't even matter to me. They feel better. So I use compression tights. I have compression socks and the shit is all cute. I am cute. It's another thing. I like to look good when I work out. Like, no, I ain't putting on the makeup. You see, I'm makeup free right now, but like, I like to have colorful bottoms. I like to have my top, my sports bras. Love Oprah. Oprah saved my tits. I've been using Enel sports bras for 20 plus years because I got a lot in my front pocket and so does Oprah. And Oprah said, you need to do the Enel sports bra. And I know there are a lot of other brands, but I love Enel's. So I go and get measured when I lose weight and I switch up Enel. I love it. If you get on their list, they have when they have irregular bra sales where they're 50% off. Yeah, it's an investment. They're 60 plus bucks, but my tits deserve it. And your boobs, if you have them, deserve to have whatever. So one of my tips for you is get the equipment you need. Like for me, I needed good sports bras. I wish I could wear the little cutie sports bras, but no, my front pocket is full. And so I have to wear particular sports bras for my breast. And it changes my performance. When I run in the neighborhood, I don't give myself a black eye because I have a great supportive bra. Okay. So also like invest in some weights. Yeah, they cost more now. But investing in a set of weights that you can keep and have if you have to, what I love about my gym is they're going to always have a virtual option. So even when we go back, and I look forward to going back, I will be able to work out at home if the car doesn't start or I have a flat tire or something happens, right? And they record a session, so I'm able to access that. I have all these options to show up. Plus they're multiple times a day. So like when I had my personal trainer and it was just him and he had to go on vacation, I didn't get trained. And when I decided I was going to leave my personal trainer, now his situation is different. So shout out to him, have lots of gratitude for him and how he's taught me technique and my other female, So I hate the word female, y'all. My other woman personal trainer, like I shout out to her. Like I said, my story has been progressive. It's been cumulative. So what I learned in my 20s, 30s, 40s, it has all come together. Okay. So remember, it's the relationship. I'm going to give you one more and then I'm going to shut this down because I could talk about this forever. I'm going to do a part 2 to this because I want you to find an exercise that you remember. You don't have to love it. You just like it. You get to like it. You grow to love it. You know, the person you grew to love and you didn't think you would like them. Think about the exercise like that. Okay. So compression is your friend. You're not going to negotiate with a time. Here's another one. I'm going to give you 2 more. There's so much information out here about exercise. Decide you're not going to necessarily take it all in. Find a person or a few, maybe 1 or 2 people who you like their philosophies and you want to stick with it. Like, y'all, no disrespect to the major diets that cut out carbs. I've done that. I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I don't eat that way. I eat a full, beautiful, balanced diet. And sometimes it's got cupcakes and it's got a drink in it. Okay. A blueberry mojito. So think about, find a person that you respect as you're learning, or if you have a question, type it into YouTube. If I have a running question, I type it into YouTube. I do a lit review of the videos until I find something that resonates with me. Not every solution resonates with you. Hell, my solutions I'm giving you may not resonate with you today, or they may resonate with you next Tuesday after you get over your attitude about, damn it, she's right. I do need to exercise. Okay. So think about, don't get lost in the sauce. Analysis paralysis. What's the right way of doing it? There is no right way. Do the shit. Just do it. You know, check with your doctor, figure out what works for you, and make a decision. That easy. Remember, I don't negotiate with if I'm going to do it on Thursdays or Mondays or Tuesdays. I just do it every day. I move every day. And I have not injured myself, you know, significantly during the time. I've still been able to generally exercise. I had an Achilles thing one time that I had to rest, but over the whole course of my exercising, I've been able to maintain, even when I've been sick, which, by the way, I get sick way less with exercising. I didn't even talk about the boost to your sex life, or I didn't even talk, that's part 2, but I get sick way less. And I know part of it is because of the exercise. And also, I mentioned to you all, I have eustachian tube dysfunction, which creates a fullness in my ear. The fluid in my ear does not, my right side does not drain normally. Exercise fixed it. Because I jump, I do HIIT style exercise where it's high interval, you know, training where I jump and I do all kinds of things. My ear drains. Often, this is kind of gross, but I have a tissue on hand because my nose is going to drain, my ear is going to drain, and it's actually helped me so much. I never have fullness in my ear anymore. Who knew that was a cure to eustachian tube dysfunction? Okay. Last thing I want to say is realize when you love it. Realize when your mindset changes. Remember, I talked about that 2 weeks. I was y'all had grief around working out at home, giving up, burn, felt grief until the brilliant ladies, I'm gonna shout them out. Shout out to Sarah, shout out to Cheryl, shout out to Joe, you know, shout out to the other trainers. I didn't miss anybody. Did I? Cheryl, Joe? Okay. They came up with a solution for me, but I still had to show up to the solution. Before now, y'all, low key, I love working out at home. Now I got to get my ass back into the gym once I feel comfortable. They created an equitable solution for people who didn't feel comfortable working out during the pandemic. And yes, I'm vaccinated. So, yes, the biggest takeaway I would love for you to take, would be that exercise is about the mobility. It's about movement, not how you move. Walking is an amazing exercise. It gets you all the benefits. I mean, and the other takeaway I really want you to have is you don't have to love it. Have a relationship with it. This goes back to my episode about attraction, how I talked about how, I have this, I tell my clients if they're not attracted to someone, if they're respectful and whatever, date them 3 more times. Keep going until you develop feelings. Okay. Y'all, it's been great. Cannot wait to see you next week. Have a good one.
Are you feeling what you just heard? Good, good. Repeat after me. You don't have to figure it out on your own again anymore. I'm here to help. Head over to kimarrington.com and download my free video series dedicated to getting you feeling your best right now. Look around, there's some good stuff waiting on you. Got questions? Well, we're always talking on the socials, so find me on YouTube, Insta, and the book. Don't be shy, y'all. Go listen to another episode or join me here the same time next week. Finally, don't keep good shit to yourself. Share this with a homie that could use some help too. Remember, we're not lying to ourselves anymore. We're not lying to our doctors. And you damn sure don't lie to your life coach.